Now, US President Donald Trump has given Hamas a fresh deadline to reach an agreement on his plan for Gaza's future. Trump said that he is issuing a deadline until Sunday evening for Hamas to agree to a US brokered peace proposal backed by the Israeli government. He called this a last chance for the Palestinian militant group to play its role to end the war in Gaza. On his Truth Social platform, Trump wrote that an agreement must be reached by Sunday evening at 6 p.m. IST and 2200 GMT. And Trump's note comes with a rather stark warning, one that says all hell will break loose unless Hamas agrees to the peace plan. Now, earlier this week, Trump had said that he would give Hamas a maximum of 3 to 4 days to review, accept and respond to the 20-point document that outlines a peace plan to end the Gaza war, announced during Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's visit to White House on Monday. Hamas is yet to respond to Trump's plan, but plans to respond soon as per an official. Just for the record, the document calls on the group to disarm, a demand the group has previously rejected. The plan also specifies an immediate ceasefire, an exchange of all hostages held by Hamas for Palestinian prisoners held by Israel within 72 hours, a staged Israeli withdrawal from Gaza, and the introduction of a new transitional government led by an international body. Meanwhile, Israeli offensive on Gaza continues, claiming over 65,000 lives. Protests spread across Europe and other countries as Israel also detained activists of the global Sumud flotilla. Israeli protesters too called on the Israeli government to allow the flotilla into the enclave.
My full solidarity is with the Sumud flotilla and the arrestees right now in the occupation prisons. I hope they stay strong, and I hope next time will be larger and stronger, and all of us together will break the siege.
Yemeni protesters took to the streets of capital Sana'a to show solidarity with Palestinians in the Gaza Strip with anti-American and anti-Israeli slogans. All right, to discuss this further, joining us live from Boston is David M. Littman, who is a senior analyst at the Media Monitoring Organization. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Let's get right into it. Of course, we knew that Trump had given the 72-hour deadline to begin with. That was extended to 4 days. Then the White House did clarify that Trump would draw his own deadline there, and now we have this deadline for Sunday 6 p.m. That being said, Hamas is still reviewing this proposal. It is a condition for Hamas to completely disarm. What do you see happening on Sunday?
It's a good question. We're all kind of holding our breath to see what Hamas does. There are indications that the Hamas leadership is divided. It appears that some are willing to accept the terms while others want to impose what will likely be seen as unacceptable changes or demand unacceptable changes. In terms of the agreement, even if Hamas does not accept the 20-point plan, the plan specifies that it is to take effect, or at least most of the measures, most of the parts of the plan are to take effect in those areas in which Israel already has control of Gaza. So what will essentially happen, regardless, is that this plan will go forward, at least in to some degree, and Israel will be, they'll have a leash to continue prosecuting the war against Hamas. And once they've taken over, for example, Gaza City, which they are currently operating in, the plan will then be able to operate or take effect there as well in the future.
All right, be that as it may, that being said, Trump's 20-point peace plan, what's your assessment of the plan to begin with? Because there are some in Israel as well, in Netanyahu's own camp, who say that there may be too many concessions to begin with. So what's your take on that?
Yes, it does. There is, of course, disagreement within Israel. Israelis are nothing if not vehement debaters among themselves. It does ask some pretty stark compromises from Israel. Giving amnesty to the Hamas terrorists who carried out the October 7th massacre is a pretty big ask. There's also, of course, hesitation about some of the other conditions, such as bringing in an international force that will oversee security in the Gaza Strip. There is a poor track record of international forces in the region. One need only look at what happened with UNIFIL, which was supposed to disarm Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. That was in 2006. We've seen what's happened since. But I think by and large, Israeli society seems to be behind this proposal. Netanyahu is behind this proposal. And whether a couple of ministers oppose it or not, I think this deal will end up happening. And it does appear that there were agreements, at least behind the scenes, between Trump and Netanyahu, that only parts of the proposal would be brought to a vote among the ministers. From what I understand, only those pertaining to the hostage exchange.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on WION World is One with your insights on this.
Thank you.
For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.